Welcome back to LNL. Well, from signing his big, beautiful bill into law to a growing crackdown on immigration, President Donald Trump took a victory lap over the July 4th weekend. But Democrats are eager to push back. Today, I spoke with former Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg, who also made a run for the White House. Here's part of our conversation. Democrats fell out of step with voters on immigration under the Biden years, arguably opening the door for President Trump's big crackdown now. How do Democrats reshape their immigration policy and their messaging on this?
Look, I was part of the last administration. I do believe that there should have been action quicker and a more immediate understanding of how important it was to deal with the issues at the border. But I will also say that President Biden's executive action changed all of that. I think the Democratic Party now needs to take a hard look at why there's been so much concern around the border for many years and what it would take to have true immigration reform.
In 2019, you said you supported decriminalizing illegal border crossings. Is that still your position?
You know, I view that differently now that I saw the extreme pressure that border communities faced in the years since. There's a lot of things that look different about a decade later, and this is one of them.
Americans are often frustrated by the slow and ineffective pace of government, but Donald Trump and the Republicans seem to be getting things done very quickly. The president has already delivered on many of his campaign promises. How do you counter that?
Look, doing something quickly is not the same as doing the right thing. He came in, said he was going to cut prices on day one. Instead, prices went up when he started talking about tariffs on day one. Said he was going to bring peace to the Middle East on day one. Instead, there is even more chaos and violence there. Said a lot of things. And yeah, I mean, one of the things he did very quickly was increase the deficit. But that's not the kind of leadership we need right now. We all want decisive action. We want decisive action that will actually do some good in everyday life. And so far, the biggest priority has been tax cuts for billionaires. They can be very decisive and quick when it comes to that. Not so much when it comes to solving the problems that everyday Americans are actually facing in daily life around here, like the cost of goods.
Looking ahead to the midterms now, many of the deepest cuts from this big, beautiful bill don't take effect until after the midterms, especially for Medicaid and SNAP. Do you think that makes it harder for Democrats to message? What should the strategy be?
Yeah, I think Republicans really showed their hand here by timing a lot of the worst health care cuts to come just after the election when they will be held accountable. But I don't think that changes the message. In fact, if anything, I think it adds urgency. It means the message will be that you may lose your health care or your food support or other community things you count on very soon after the election if we don't turn things around, if we don't get a different Congress and different leadership that will say, wait a minute, it's not okay to kick more than 10 million Americans off their health insurance.
There's some new reporting just out from Axios saying that Democrats, the Democratic base, Democratic voters really want to see some more action from their leaders. They really want politicians to get down and dirty, to kind of stoop down to the level that they say Republicans are going. Do you believe that should kind of be the approach? Do you want to see Democrats get feistier?
Well, I think it's really important to pick good, tough fights and fight them well. That doesn't mean emulating Republicans or emulating the president's tendency to lie or break promises or somehow try to trick American voters. I do think it means going out into places where Democrats haven't been seen in a long time and not just explaining what we're against, but what we're for, making it clear how everyday life could be better if we were given a chance to deliver on things like expanded access to health care, paid family leave, higher pay and wages, and a lot of other things that most Americans agree with us need to happen.
Elon Musk just announced he is going to launch a third party here in America, or another party. What do you make of his promise now to maybe hold some politicians accountable? He says we live under a one-party system. Do you think that his new party will have any effect?
Well, look, I think the more the merrier as far as our political landscape. I think a lot of Americans are frustrated with the two-party system. I haven't yet heard what the kind of central idea of his party would be, but I do think it's really interesting that so many different sides of the political spectrum are outraged over this bill. Whether you're a Democrat who's upset about the tax cuts for the rich, or whether you're someone like Elon Musk who's upset about the enormous increases in the deficit. All of them are further indications that this administration and definitely this Congress are just wildly out of step with what most Americans want to see.
Democrats have struggled to rally behind a central figure now that we're in this post-Biden era. Are you looking to be that person? Are you going to make another run for the White House?
I don't know exactly what the future holds for me. I do know that I'm going to use my voice to speak out for what I think is right. I'm actually really enjoying the fact that I'm not in office or on the ballot right now. I'm spending more time with my kids. I'm just enjoying the human things that are kind of hard to experience when you're in the middle of that whirlwind of politics. But I can also tell this is just not a time when it's okay to sit on the sidelines. So right now I'm finding ways to be involved that don't mean putting my name on a ballot. And it's just too soon to know what the future holds.
Yeah, definitely leaving some options open, though, it sounds like, right?
Yeah, definitely nothing's certain, and there's plenty of time to figure out what the future is going to hold.
All right, former Secretary Pete Buttigieg, thank you so much for your time today. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Great speaking with you.
And you're